Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are all warm. I hope you are all excited to be still part of this exciting hackathon. And importantly, I hope you are working very hard in coming up with a life changing solution post COVID 19 pandemic. As they've said, as they have mentioned before, that today's format is slightly different from that of last week, and we were talking earlier on, and I mentioned something very important, which I'm going to focus a lot on today. That every day, young and old people come up with incredible ideas, but very few of these ideas actually see day of light. And people at a distance, they believe that executing an idea, taking an idea from nothing to something, is a simple activity. They think it's a simple process. And those who do not think it is a simple process often give up on their way to reaching their destination. And I always believe that it is always easy to tell people about your own personal experience, your own story, a story that you own, a story that you are part of. And last week I did say to you guys that I started what I do when I was 13 years old in the year 2000. That makes me 33 years old today. Nonetheless, I don't want to dwell too much on how I started, or rather, back then in the years of 2000 or the early 2000. I want to immediately focus on what I want to talk about today, what I want to share with you guys. You have entered a Capitec Life 2.0 hackathon, where your task at hand is to coin a solution that is going to make life easy post the lockdown or the pandemic itself. And in the end, we will have a winner who will come up with who would have presented an exciting solution. However, there are those who will have other ideas, and these ideas might not win. And I said last week that you are all winners. It's just merely a matter of positioning you guys to make sure that we position these technologies or these solutions according to priority. Now, for those who will not take the ultimate prize, even the prize winner, him, or let me not genderize this thing, the winning team instead will enter into a new world, into a new phase of business. And when you reach that level, you are going to face a lot of challenges. You are going to come upon a lot of stumbling blocks. And you need to be prepared for this phase of your life, for this phase of your business. And at no point must you give up. So I want to take you back to the year 2003. So the year is 2003, and I am doing grade 11, and I was diagnosed with asthma when I was doing grade 6, but it was not a serious issue until I was aged 15 in grade 11. So I quickly realized something about being at this age. I realized that every time I use a shoe polish, every time I polish my shoes, the strong smell that would emanate from the polish itself, either it's a solid polish or liquid polish, that was a serious thing. I would then have an asthma attack sometimes due to the strong smell emanating from this polish, or sometimes my sinuses would just get irritated. And beyond that, I hated shoe polishing. Shoe polishing was an activity or a task that I used to outsource, to someone else. But something incredible happened out of that laziness. While lazy and being irritated by the strong smell from the shoe cleaner, I just said to myself, isn't there a way to automate the shoe cleaning process? And I began investigating this question. And then I realized that there were shoe cleaners in most hotels and at airports. But I am sure those who have used these we know that there's so many challenges with using these standard shoe cleaners. They can't reach the certain parts of your shoes, and they are not really designed to clean all shoes of all types. So what I did, I began working on a shoe cleaner which I believed that would one day change the face of humanity, or revolutionize the shoe cleaning industry. And I want to take you down on this journey, how I turned what is the word? How I turned a lazy moment or a circumstance that was affecting my health into a world-class technology. I want to share with you from start to finish. I want to share this journey with you. And what I want you to learn from this is that while working on your solutions, and why at the end of your solution, once you've completed your task, you are going to want to commercialize that solution. You are going to want to maybe not commercialize it, but bring it to humanity so that it can be used for the benefit of human beings or of your communities around you. And there's a lot of things that you're going to go through, and one of those things is pitching that concept or that solution or that technology, that system, to investors, to grant makers, to venture capitalists, and so on. And I want to use just this personal journey with you briefly. So if you will all allow me to just share a slide with you so that you can see my journey from start to finish. One moment. So this is the auto shoe cleaner in the year 2003, back in my house in my high school days. So what it was designed to do, firstly I must rush to say that it was made out of recycled material. I purchased nothing except the liquid polish. It was a shoe buffer. It could polish, shine, and remove mud as well from your shoes. And I immediately turned this into a business in high school, where I would do shoe polishing for R1.50 back then. And as I said, this was mainly because I was lazy, and also the strong smell that was emanating from the shoe polish was an issue for me. And I just began working on this thing, entered various science and tech competitions in my high school years. And I must brag, if I may use the word brag, to say that this very picture that you see here, the shoe cleaner at this point, won the Santam Young Entrepreneur of the Year in 2003 at national level. And that's when I began to realize the potential of this shoe cleaner. And then over the years, I have worked very hard to pioneer this technology and make it better, and say maybe polishing shoes and shining shoes is not enough, And then I started designing it, improving the design, improving its technology, what it can do, what it can't do. Firstly, I wanted to create a shoe cleaner that is portable, that is handheld, and that does not only clean your shoes, but can also clean your sneakers. You see, we all have a problem with cleaning sneakers. We allow them to fill up our rooms, and then when we are tired or when we are under pressure, we are forced to then wash a whole lot pile of sneakers. This shoe cleaner can also do that. It does not only clean your formal shoes, your suede shoes, or your flops. It can also clean your sneakers at an incredible 3 minutes. What it can do, it can vacuum your shoes as well. So it has steam function, it has got steam capabilities, it has got vacuum capabilities as well. And like I said, it shines your shoes, it cleans your shoes, it cleans your sneakers, it washes them. It uses a steam technology, high pressure steam technology to wash your shoes or to clean your shoes. And then it's rechargeable. You can recharge it from your laptop, from a USB plug point, And then the interesting thing about it, it senses the color of your shoe, and it has a built-in interchangeable cartridge. What it does is that if your shoes are maroon, it will tell you to change the head, the brushing head, and put in a clean one or a specific color that your shoes are. So let's say my shoes are maroon and my wife's shoes are black, and then the machine will prompt me to change the shoe. And then after many years of struggling, and I'm gonna quickly tell you about that struggle, after many years of trying to pioneer this technology and get it commercialized and get it out there in stores, this is what the final product looks like. It is very portable. It can actually fit inside your pocket, into your handbag, into your briefcase, inside your jacket, inside your sweater. That's how portable it is. And it comes in a very nice container. You can actually use that container for something else. And this is a technology that was pioneered in a township of Klerksdorp, Joburton in the Northwest Province. Now, this looks all good, and you are sitting there in the comfort of your homes and you are thinking that, but how did he do it? How was this executed? How was this done? Before I do that, I just want to quickly share a video that shows how this technology works, and then once you've seen the video, we can then go through the challenges that I had to face and overcome regarding this technology. And these are the challenges that you will definitely experience yourself. These challenges were not unique to me, but these are challenges that are experienced by many young people as they enter the business world.
The Auto Shoe Cleaner by SNZ Institute turns your shoe into a center of attention in just 3 minutes. You can count on the outstanding cleaning process of this awesome technology, but whichever color you opt for, you can choose the color that suits your individual taste. The Auto Shoe Cleaner. Refillable water tank. Steam and vacuum cleaning. Interchangeable polishing heads. It polishes. It shines. It cleans. Revolutionary shoe cleaning in 3 minutes.
Okay, thanks for lending me your time. Now you had a view at that technology, or rather at that product, and it seems like it was just a simple process. All I had to do was to design it, test various models, and then finalize with a final product and then take it to the market. And that is not what happened. It has been a painful journey, a journey that required courage, persistence, and unshakable focus. And this is the same journey you will definitely be subjected to during the process of preparing your hackathon final solution. And in my journey of pioneering the auto shoe cleaner, I had to go through a lot of things, and these are a few challenges that I just want to share with you as to how did I get to the last lap of the race. First and foremost, once you have come up with a solution, firstly, let me rather say this. You firstly come up with a solution. That's your idea proposal. You research it to ensure that it can work. And sometimes the technology or the solution you come up with is not relevant to the present world. It might be relevant to the next future. So you might have to abandon the idea. So that is why research, development, and innovation is important when you are pioneering your solution. Then post that, once you have a prototype, you then have to get money, you have to get finance to manufacture this industrially. You need finance to get experts to review your product, to criticize it, to help you to improve on this technology or this solution that you might be having. And that those are some of the things I was exposed to. Whilst I was busy with my homemade prototypes, I approached an internationally acclaimed brand, that is very, very powerful in the shoe cleaning industry. And interestingly, they are making about 1.9 billion US dollars just in Africa, and only with one brand, with one product, that is the black shoe polish, excluding other brands or other product offering. And I offered them an opportunity to buy a stake or to actually acquire the entire concept from me and the prototype. And then they offered me, I think, 20 million rands in exchange for this technology. And I felt that it was not a good deal. And I was disappointed, number one. Number two, I felt that maybe they are right. No one really needs this technology. People are comfortable with polishing shoes manually, and people are comfortable with having someone polishing their shoes. And that could be something that could have discouraged someone else. Someone else would have said, what's the point of coming up with product X if an internationally acclaimed brand that specializes in such products is not interested in this technology? I needed 1.9 million rands to get to the final product, just one final prototype. The reason it costs so much, we need to think about the artificial intelligence that the device uses. So I needed to get people to program, I needed people to find ways to make the product become better, to make sure that the product becomes really a must-have product, in each and every household. So getting programmers, getting the artificial intelligence alone of this product cost a lot of money. The other interesting thing was naming the product. That is something that we had to learn just through consulting marketing expert. The name Auto Shoe Cleaner was considered to be too scientific or just too basic. It was said that it is not a catchy name. It's not something that will sell the product. Something you need to think about when you present your final solution for the adjudication in 2 weeks' time. And we ran a national competition on social media and asked young people around the country to name this shoe cleaner, and the winning name was Schooner. And we are still trying to get used to the Schooner brand or the Schooner name. And that process alone also cost a lot of money. Now, I'm speaking about a lot of money just for a simple prototype. How do you get that money? How do you overcome the obstacle of not even having funding? The reality is that South Africa is operating a market that does not have room for innovation. Innovation is barely supported, and innovation is something that investors are not really willing to jump into. And I think Capitec Bank can teach us a lot about innovation and its journey, and how key was innovation in the bank reaching its target goals. Now, one of the things that I realized with pitching to investors or trying to get people to buy in was that our message to the investors was wrong. It was completely wrong. Last week I said to you guys, if Mark Zuckerberg was born in South Africa, there'd be no Facebook. The reason I said that it is because the local market does not really appreciate innovation. So if you are going to pitch to people or to an adjudication panel or to a venture capitalist or to a bank even, you need to make sure that you're speaking the right language, and you must always consider three things. When you have a product, you take your product and you go and present your product to X, Y, or Z, you need to think about this. What is it that the product does? That's all you need to tell them. Hi, my name is XYZ. We are coming from this startup and our product is ABC. What does it do? That's after explaining who you are and what do. You explain what does the product do. And then the last important thing, how does it work? How does the solution that you are presenting work? And how does it relate to the investor? And what kind of market niche is this a new technology or solution is it going to claim in the market? So you need to convince an investor in those 3 steps that this is product A, this is what it does, and this is how it does it. And after restructuring my pitch strategy, I was then able to get the funding. I was even fortunate to get it as a grant from different investors coming together to grant me the money. I didn't even have to pay back the money just to get the prototype working. And in that process, I realized that I've lost many years trying to sell something that was good, but my message to the investor, to the potential shareholder in the business was totally wrong. And that's something you're going to stumble upon. You're going to meet people who are just not happy, or just not excited by what you are offering. But your solution could actually be a real thing. And as I said earlier, you might come up with a product that people don't even know that they need. And when they don't even know they need the specific solution you are bringing forward, they might reject it. So how you package your ultimate story, how you package your message, the story that goes with the product is very important in ensuring that your product gets the right backing up, your product gets the right technology. The other thing that I struggled with was getting the right team to back this thing up. As a startup grows, as the business grows, certain people don't have the resilience, they don't have the passion, they don't have or they don't share anymore, the energy and the vision that you might have for a specific product. And the fact is that we are going to start together as a startup with a mindset to achieve a particular goal or a particular product commercialized. And as time goes on, some of us are going to leave when our part in the story is finished. And that can be discouraging for an inventor or for a team. We are a team of 10 people and suddenly our industrial engineer wants to leave. He might have gotten a better offer, or he might feel that there's no way forward for this thing. So often when we are pioneering technologies, we do not pay attention to the health of the team. You might also want to prioritize that. Make sure all the time that your team has the same message. As a team leader, make sure that you are communicating the same message with everyone, and regularly do checkups to make sure that everyone is inclined to the vision. Everyone is focused and is still committed to the vision of this particular product. The other thing that I want to talk about is the auto shoe cleaner, or rather schooner, entering the market. Now you are done with your prototype is finished, and it has got a great name. It has passed a quality check. It might even have an SABS certification. But where do you take it from here? You might want to sell your product or your solution directly, which in most cases might be a nightmare, because sometimes people buy a brand because they are used to a specific brand. But you need to find a way in which you are going to take your product to the national, regional, and international market. And that is one painful experience I went through in trying to get this product into the store nearest you. Now, one of the most flabbergasting experience was when I pitched to a very big conglomerate based in Cape Town. They have got stores everywhere. Young and old people are buying shoes and sportswear and clothes from this brand. And I pitched this idea to them, and I said, this is what I want to achieve, and this is where I see the product fitting into your product offering. And then after 18 months of running around, having to be relevant with their supplier, empowerment systems, having to comply with their vision, having to comply with the terms and conditions. It was a costly experience. It was a very painful process, having to fly to Cape Town every week. Sometimes there's no money, there's no budget to go to Cape Town. You have to borrow money to go to Cape Town, to go and pitch, to go and update the board, to go and update decision makers. It can often be a very frustrating process, which is why you need a strong team behind you. You need people who believe in you and people who can actually see the end result, people who are sure that this will eventually come. Then one day when we were supposed to sign the final deal, with this big brand, and we said to them that we also need an advance in the deal so that we can go and manufacture the units they wanted. They wanted 100,000 units up front for the launch, and we had a capacity to do just 20,000 units, And I went to the final meeting and I was grilled, and it was a very painful experience, and I was very discouraged at one point in that meeting. But I felt that it could be the last lap of the race. I must hang in there, I must fight, and I must renegotiate. The other thing, you must not be scared to renegotiate. You must renegotiate your terms. You must perhaps let go of certain percentage of your ownership of the technology, because often with your first technology, you have to let go of a large portion of the ownership of the technology, and to allow the big players, to boost you and to enable you to enter the market. And that's what we achieved with Schooner. In the end, Schooner secured a multi-million rand deal, where very soon you will see it in a store next to you, from a popular brand in the country. And during that time, you will be able to relate to the story because you have heard the story from me, or you have read about the story. But the important thing, and something that I think would be a takeaway for most of us, is that when you see the product and you hold it and you remember the story behind the product, it becomes an interesting experience. But that is just a bit of the journey that I had to go through with commercializing Schooner, with making sure that Schooner becomes a success. In conclusion, I would like to say that you have a great idea and you want to execute that idea and make it a reality. Now, that either your idea is a system, it's a solution, it's a service, or it's a real hardware or a real product, the journey to success is often the same. You're going to come across a lot of stumbling blocks. You're going to come across experts telling you that this technology is not relevant. This solution, the people do not need it. The South African market is not ready for such a product. But if you, as the businessman, as the businesswoman, as the big brains behind the idea, you must never be shifted. Your focus must remain steady. Your focus must remain untouched. You must see it through. You must ensure that you reach the last lap of the race of your product. Because products like Facebook, we did not think we need Facebook. We did not even think we need social media to begin with. There were a few attempts before, but there has never been nothing like Facebook. When you look at WhatsApp, a messaging service, we were comfortable with a short message service. We felt that it was the it technology of those times. And even today, still an important technology. However, WhatsApp revolutionized the entire platform, the entire system of messaging one another. And you are sitting there at home in the comfort of your office, in the comfort of your however you are right now. You are sitting on a potential multi-billion rand solution, and you will be presenting it to a panel in the next few weeks, and you must invest your time, your energy, your spirit, and you must not give up. You must make sure that you deliver a quality submission. You give us a product that makes it difficult for the adjudication panel to shy away from. And you can only do that if you have a convincing case, if your solution is solving a real problem that we are going to face post-COVID-19. And I must also say that please don't forget, okay, I'm having a connection problem. Please don't forget that we will be giving away an Amazon Echo Dot speaker at the end of this broadcast. Just to recap quickly, I was saying that as I step back, I would like to say to each and every team that the platform is yours. Go out there and make this country proud and make this Capitec Life 2.0 Hackathon the best hackathon of its kind. And we will be giving away another Amazon Echo Dot speaker to one lucky participant who will be, or one lucky team that will be asking us a question. And therefore, by saying that, I would like to take few questions if you guys have questions. I'm sure you always have questions. Thank you guys. Thanks for listening in.
Thank you so much, Sir Stuart. Can I ask the teams that you just use the hands up feature, and I will just ping you in for your questions. Now, Ziwe, where do you want to start? Yes.
Hey, Stuart.
Hi, how are you?
And you put your video on for us, Nanziwe.
Okay, cool. Sorry. Hey, Stuart.
Hi, Nanziwe.
How are you, man?
I'm great, thanks. I hope you're good as well.
Awesome, thank you. Firstly, congratulations on a job well done for your schooner product. It's quite revolutionary.
Thank you.
And secondly, in fact, I've got a couple of questions, but I want to start with the first two questions. I understand that when starting a business, particularly as a schoolgoer or as somebody who's very young and who's still under the leadership of their parents, how did they take it when you actually had, or when you told them that you wanted to? Because obviously coming from, I would assume the township or with the type of background that we have, our parents have a certain image in terms of who we should be in the world. So that's the first question. And then second question is related to starting up a business, particularly if your product or your technology is more future or is more into the future than it is now. My question with that is, with trying to penetrate a new market or with trying to create a new market, like what are some of the advices that you would give us in terms of working around that, particularly if you're trying out like a new product within those two spaces?
Okay, are those your two questions?
And yeah.
Okay.
Yes, those are my two questions for now.
All right, thank you. I
Cool.
would like to take more questions and then I will respond to all the questions at once.
All right then, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nanziwe. Any other questions from the participants? Maybe we start with those two, Stuart.
Okay, not a
see if
problem.
that inspires more questions.
Thank you for the questions, Nanziwe. The first question about a home, how was it like at home in terms of them supporting my idea, and you mentioned that in the township is a different experience there. Look, I was fortunate. I was raised by my grandparents. My parents are still there. I was fortunate to come from a family that supports new ideas. It was not easy, obviously, to have a child who's different from other kids. Other kids after school, they go and play sports. They're doing athletics. they are singing for the school choir, and then you have a child who is into going to the library every day, surfing on the net, and always exploding things in the house, assembling and reassembling products, which there was absolutely nothing wrong with to start with. With me, there was always support at school, in the family, and in the society. And of course, there's rejection as well that comes with support. There are people who feel that you are crazy, you are wasting your time, you are smart, you should be doing something else, which leads me to the last point of this question, where I quit varsity just after 3 weeks because I felt like this is not working for me. I don't want to learn about electronics. I want to experiment with electronics. And for my family, it was a shock because they knew how obsessed I was with varsity, how badly I wanted to be in varsity. And the next thing I tell them that no, I want to focus on my business and I want to focus on these few ideas and get them commercialized. And fortunately, they supported me and backed me up to this very moment. I hope I've attempted to answer that question. How do you penetrate a market with, or how do you create a new market? How do you enter a new market with a new technology? That is a very good question, and unfortunately, it is a very difficult thing to do. Again, Capitec Bank will tell you that. When you are asking people to stop buying kitchen appliances and just buy one appliance, the first challenge you're going to face in the market is potential competition. Those who are making kettles, micro ovens, stoves, toasters, sandwich makers, and so on will definitely have an issue with you, and they might block the market. Because if you are coming up with this Marvel Wave Cuisine, this new microwave that is 15 in 1 and it replaces all your kitchen appliances, you are shifting the gears, you are shifting the market, and they can try and block that as much as they can. But nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. You know, when it was Facebook's time to penetrate the market, it came and it claimed its market share. If you have a solution and that solution is going to create a new market, then a new market will emerge. If that solution is entering an existing market, then that solution is going to claim a large stake of that currently existing market. And in conclusion, it's all about the hard work and the focus and the innovativeness and inventiveness that you put into the selling of your concept, into the promotion of your idea, and into the market positioning of your solution or idea or product. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We have a question that was typed in from Yusha. Yusha asks, or firstly says, thank you for sharing your fascinating story. From an ethical standpoint, how do you balance the possibility of disrupting an industry or a market with the possibility of affecting employment in South Africa?
Okay. I didn't get the name there, but thank you for the question. It is a very popular question, not just meant to me, but many people who are in the tech space, they face that question. And I believe most solutions that have been entered for this hackathon will be disruptive in their nature. When you come up with a technology, here's the reality. I am of the view, and I will continue to advocate for this view. If you are bringing a technology that is replacing 5 employees, and the unions will obviously say that you are taking away people's work. I think in the advent of the 4th Industrial Revolution, the best thing or the most basic thing that human beings can do, it is to keep up with the times, it is to transform. If your technology is disrupting the market and affecting the current employment trend, then your technology is simply inspiring people to embrace technology and learn new technologies, because every technology that comes and disrupts the market, it comes with new employment as well. You know, if you are introducing an automated factory, whereas people used to do things manually, You are simply asking people to go and upskill themselves and come and learn how to operate this new machinery. Yes, it is reality. It is an undeniable fact that time and again, a few people will become casualties of this disruptiveness brought by new techs and new solutions. However, it is part of evolution, and it is something that we really can't take away. In closing, let's look at Uber, the e-hailing market, and your normal taxi industry. The taxi industry keeps on fighting an idea whose time has come. Yes, there are many factors to think about, and there are many losses with the taxi industry. But e-hailing service is formalizing an industry that has for many years abused its consumers, an industry that plays a major role in the economy. However, if I suffered an injustice in a taxi, I have nowhere to complain, I have nowhere to express my view, I have nowhere to literally do anything about my dissatisfaction about a service I received in a taxi. But now, with an app-based taxi service, I am able to rate the driver. I am able to inform other consumers that this is not the type of a driver you'd want to use. I'm able to inform the owner of the app that one of your drivers is not suitable for this. And then again, that shows you that the e-hailing industry has disrupted the usual taxi industry, but it is time for the industry to emerge as a winner by transforming with the times and appreciating and embracing technology. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sir Stuart. Any other questions? Nanziwe, yes?
One second, I'm trying to. Yeah. So in terms of, this is my last question, I promised you it. In terms of trying to put together a presentation, right? So obviously, in the industry that we are wanting to tackle, there's a lot of new stuff and a lot of jargon that's used. But in terms of trying to put together a presentation for this particular hackathon, what are some of the advices that you would give us? Like, is simplicity one of the things that we could go by in terms of just explaining what it is that we do or what it is that we're wanting to do? Or should we just use like technical language or jargon of the industry that we want to penetrate? I hope I'm making sense.
You are making sense. Okay.
So yeah, that's
all right. Thank you for the question. Look, you said it yourself. Simplicity remains to be the ultimate sophistication. Capitec Bank knows better. With your prep for this hackathon, for the presentation of the hackathon, I'm sure you've been given guidelines what to do and what not to do as you prepare for that presentation. But I'll tell you just three things that you can't go wrong with them. Your presentation must have visuals. You must have visuals that speaks to the adjudication panel. You must have visuals that speaks to the consumer. Your adjudication panel is your testing lab. These are the people who will be the first users of that solution that you are presenting. So your visuals needs to be very good. I believe in a PowerPoint presentation or in a video presentation that hasn't got words. You can just have a title. Cut out the words. Get straight to the product. Get straight to the message. Sell the idea. Make me want to drive wherever I am and go and see the idea. I believe you'll be doing your presentations through video, and you will be demonstrating how it works. And even those who will be demonstrating, they must not be too technical. They must shy away from the jargon of the solution, because your consumer is not interested if your new smartphone is using 5th generation network. Your consumer wants to know that with this network that this particular smartphone is doing, the consumer is able to do ABC, which they couldn't do a few years ago, or with the previous or with the current smart devices they might be using. So I always tell people that if you want to sell your story, if you want to sell your product must carry a story. There must be a story. There must be a very convincing why. You need to answer the why with your solution. Pose the why question to the adjudication panel, and right there you ask you give the adjudication panel the solution to that why. Ask a question and give the solution, and that solution might be a winning one, and we might not see it because your presentation is not visual enough, it's not audible enough, it's not eloquent enough. You need to be crystal clear. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Any other questions? If there's no other questions now, I'll ask a question for Sir Stuart, and that is simply, what is next for you?
I plan to retire when I turn 35. By retire, I mean I plan to stop working for SNZ Institute. I will still own the company, but I think I've been doing this for too long. Next stage will be 21 years doing what I'm doing. As some of you might have heard or have seen or have bumped into an article, I am preparing to go to space. I want to venture full-time into space sciences and use space sciences to transform Africa and make space tourism something that anyone, regardless of your background, something that anyone can afford. So space sciences is my next big thing, and we are currently working on a prototype of a cheaper fuel with the minerals of that fuel. We've discovered them in Africa, in South Africa to say, and that might be something big for us in the next few years. But to answer your question simply, what's next for me is space sciences. Thank you.
That's excellent. Very exciting. So Stuart, thank you so much for giving us your time today. I think everyone is inspired by the message. I think especially you're speaking about how you approach investors, how you learn from your mistakes, and carry on and go forward and never give up is a really inspiring message. Thank you so much, and good luck to all the teams. We will catch up with you again for the next set of mentor sessions and webinars. Please have a look at the general channel of teams, and we'll see you there.
Great, Stuart. Thanks so much.
Thank you.